absolutely emphatic victory for England in Bulgaria. About the only positive thing for that second half is that we didn't have a repeat of those incidents that saw the first half being stopped, those racist incidents that you'd imagine will see more punishment coming the way of the Bulgarian FA in due course. In terms of the football, England's victory isn't quite enough to see them qualified for Euro 2020 just yet. Kosovo winning against Montenegro means that England must get another couple of points in their last games. It's Montenegro at home for England next up. They should do the business there. But Brian, is there any real value in that victory tonight for England, given how poor the opposition were?
Well, you couldn't take an awful lot out of it. From Gareth Southgate's point of view, he changed the team around a bit and put Winks into the middle as the build-up player, and the ball moved much more sweetly than it did when Declan Rice played earlier in the week or last week with Henderson. But because the opposition were so weak and conceded so much ground to England right from the off, they were stuck back in the shape of 5-4-1 deep in their own half. But they never tried to tackle them. They never tried to get close to a man and stop anything happening. So while Winks played well, Mings played well, but there was nothing to play against. There was never a player running at them. There was never anything happening that you could evaluate where they were under pressure or not. The match against the Czech Republic was a much more realistic test because Czech Republic, obviously beaten 5-0 at Wembley, came out in the home game with a totally different attitude. They wanted to have a go, take the game to England as much as they can. They played with a bit of vibrancy and dash and inventiveness, whereas tonight Bulgaria just really Saturday, and it was hard to understand why their club football is struggling. Yeah. At least in the Czech Republic, there's a bit of verve going on. Slavia Prague doing well in the Europa League, giving it a bit of a go in the Champions League this year, and there's something happening there. Doesn't seem to be anything.
Yeah, Kevin, when we hear from Southgate, will he be going, "Oh, great, we bounced back and wiped away the memory of Friday," or is he going, "That's not much use to us at all"?
No, I'm sure he'll say that the former Tommy. He'll come out with the PR because the PR bandwagon's been in overdrive with England over the last couple of years. It has, but
we'll be back on the road now.
Yeah, getting back to winning ways. Of course, that was the most important thing. But let's be honest, Bulgaria were embarrassing tonight. They were embarrassing. The shape of the side, too easy to play through, and that should have been 10. England should have had 10 goals there tonight quite easily.
Okay, analysis with Brian and Kevin next. For how we would love a 6-0 away victory for Ireland tomorrow evening. Don't know if that's quite going to happen. It was so easy for England tonight. Let's try and pick out the bits that Southgate will be taking out of this game. You're going to talk a bit about Marcus Rashford coming in a bit more detail shortly, Brian, but he got the first goal, and is he now back into that front three and going ahead of Sancho in the pecking order, do you think?
I would think on his performance tonight, I would say so. It was a fabulous goal, but I just think playing out in that wide left position, he's very effective. I think that trio of Sterling, Rashford and Kane together. I mean, think of the match with Spain when they won in Spain 3-2 in the end, when they went 3-0 up, how devastating they were as a trio. And we saw sparks of that again tonight. Goals were brilliant.
What about Barkley? He started every competitive game since the World Cup under Southgate. Was left out the last day. Did he say, Gareth, why did you do that tonight with that performance?
I think it was. Brian actually touched on him before the match, saying about how well he'd played under Southgate. And yes, he has been excellent. I think he's getting himself in a lot more advanced positions, Barkley, under Gareth Southgate as well. I think he's given a bit more licence to get forward. Sterling again was excellent tonight. Kane probably deserved his goal late on. I felt as though the keeper Iliev could have done a lot better. I think he should have been a bit more alert out of his line. But Kane deserved his goal. He hit the woodwork and he was desperate to stay on, so he got that. But it was so comfortable for England tonight.
Kane,
so
a goal, 3 assists. And he created 5 chances as well as a hit in the post. Do you think he said to Southgate, "Don't take me off till I get my goal, please"?
Brian was in here saying no, Pochettino would be wanting to get him off, but no, he would have been desperate to stay on just to get the goal, I would imagine,
Okay, let's talk about Harry Winks then. And again, with the caveat that how much can you really take from this game, but was he a big progression in that midfield role ahead of Declan Rice?
Yeah, Chris Sutton mentioned it in commentary as well. Maybe the one advantage he has over Declan Rice is, I think, it's his range of passing and how quickly he moves the ball. we looked at we covered the game against Bulgaria at Wembley, and it was the same setup from Bulgaria that night. They went very deep, 5-4-1, but I think there's a bit more risk to Harry Winks' passing. Yes, he's further on in his development. He's 23, whereas Rice is only 20. I think that he's come through the system through his entire career, Harry Winks playing in that position. You wouldn't see Declan Rice making that pass. As Sterling comes in off the sideline, there's an element of risk with his passing that he will...
In a good sense.
Well, that looks, yeah, definitely in a good sense. I think it has to be. Certainly, I don't recall Declan Rice ever hitting passes like that 40, 50 yard. That led to England's third goal there, actually. This is just simple play, get out your feet and switching play. Rice is excellent at sitting in front of a back four where he'll marshal it well, he'll sit well, but I don't recall him ever stepping into midfield. He gets a bit lucky here, Winks, but I don't recall him ever travelling and going beyond players like that as well. Again, the pass breaks down, but there's an element of risk to it. This is what Rice can do as well. He can make that challenge exactly like Harry Winks. But there's certainly, I feel, England looked better tonight. The way they moved the ball a lot quicker. And I'm not just saying, yes, they were poor Bulgaria, but we saw poor Bulgaria side at Wembley. And England in the first half against Bulgaria moved it really slow. They didn't shift Bulgaria's midfield or defence quickly.
So they were markedly better.
Exactly, certainly, and that was largely down to.
And he made 4 tackles, the most of any England player, which, as you say, is maybe the thing that Rice would normally have over him.
The whole Bulgarian team didn't make 4 tackles, Tommy.
But when it comes again, the question again, when it comes to the bigger games, like you talked before the match about Croatia in the World Cup, England lost the midfield. Can he do it at?
Yeah, and taking that on, because you mentioned Barkley in the match against the Netherlands. Barkley didn't feature in the game; they were outplayed in that midfield area. Can Winks do it? I think the balance of the three needs to be right, and the positions of the three: Mount, Henderson, and Winks against a very good opposition. I think might struggle. I think with Henderson and Barkley, and with Henderson being maybe we talked about before the match, being more of a sitter, right? And the position he played for Liverpool a lot, I know since Fabinho's come in, he's getting forward more now, Henderson. But he played in that position for maybe a year and a half at Liverpool and did it quite well. I think with him beside Winks would be a better combination for them, and with Barkley then as a possibility. But they have to play the 3 front players. They're very good together.
Talk about Rashford then in a bit more detail. You've put together some of his bits, and is it that big discussion about where he plays as much as how he plays, Brian?
Well, for England, he's going to play there, isn't he? It might be a little bit of swapping with him and Sterling wide left or right. It's about his position for Manchester United, and that's what I was kind of looking at tonight. That he's playing as the main man for Manchester United through the middle. Here we see the diagonal run, control, confidence. For once, one of the defenders stopped the final shot. Here he is, tries to nick it between the goalkeeper's legs, doesn't quite get there. I like this bit again where he's coming in on the inside, sees the pass, takes up the next best position after that. Here again, looking really, really comfortable on the ball, little nutmeg. He just looked a confident player tonight. At Manchester United, he hasn't looked confident. This one, look at a bit of acceleration, pace to go by a player. Likes to dribble on his right side, but goes out on his left side and still able to get the cross in. So, from Manchester United's point of view, and this was England we were watching, they might say, well, he looks great playing wide. Can we get a centre forward again and get him back to that wide position rather than through the middle? But for England, definitely there, Kane through the middle.
Last word to you, Kevin. A bizarre, almost lifeless second half. I wonder how much the incidents in the first half and the delays contributed to that. But it was a training match at times.
It was. We said it in the first half. I think even Chris and Dave spoke about it in commentary. And certainly Brian and I in studio here were saying that it was a training game for England throughout the 90 minutes tonight. England would have learnt very little, but there's probably 1 or 2 things they can take from it. But the change of system, I don't think it even helped Bulgaria second half, because they looked even worse second half than they did in the first.
Okay, here's the Group A table. Up next for England, it'll be that game at home to Montenegro, where they should confirm their place in Euro 2020. Czech Republic against Kosovo at the big game next month in the battle for the second qualifying spot. Thanks to Kevin and Brian. That's it from us on Virgin Media 1. Coming up next.